Oklahoma City is a very vibrant place. We've come a long way in a very short period of time.
It is the entrepreneurial spirit that got us to be founded with a land run to begin with. People who didn't have opportunities elsewhere, they took a gamble and came here and developed it. You still have that entrepreneurial spirit.
Well, Oklahoma City's history shows a long engagement with the river. We were actually created where the river met the railroad. And by 1923, though, the city had grown and the river was starting to go over its bank and flooding occasionally. And when it flooded in the spring of 1923 and then again in the fall of 1923, the city leaders had it. And they went to the Corps of Engineers and said, you got to help us, you got to keep the river from flooding. And they did. They took all of the water out of the river. And so my generation grew up in a city that the grown-ups called the river, but it was really just a big ditch. In the 80s and 90s, there started to be a movement to try and figure out a way to put water back in the river. And some thought it was crazy, some thought it was a pipe dream, but a few very dedicated citizens started talking more and more about it, and sure enough, the engineers collaborated and said, yes, it could happen.
One of the things we do is we fund public improvements very strategically with the hope that private investment will follow. And this is a great example of that. We put in the base things. We put in the dams and dredge the river out, and we put in the trails, and we put in trees and parking lots and roads, and then the private sector came in.
What had to come first was getting the community reacquainted with the river. Now that has exploded, so the river has become this dynamic center of activity.
The Boathouse District is a key component, and it is the launch pad, if you will, for all things river.
The Boathouse District is about being a center for health and wellness and adventure in Oklahoma City, and we're all about just getting people active, getting people on the water, and really becoming truly a community resource to, you know, I think really start to infuse this robust outdoor culture into Oklahoma City. And you know, we're going to do that through what we currently already have with all of our rowing, our canoe kayak, our trails, but also much more to come with whitewater and other features.
When the river started taking off, we felt like this provided our company the opportunity to bring kind of two worlds together, to be a part of something innovative in our city, as well as something that helps us reach kids. Part of being a good corporate citizen is being a good neighbor, so it made some sense to have a presence here.
The investment of companies like Sandridge in that youth pavilion and the way they create a very organized, safe, accessible, and engaging gateway to the outdoors, that's the stuff that really fires us up every day and motivates us to come down here and continue to educate and then continue to share our passion for the sport and our passion for the water.
There is nowhere in this country, you know, that you can have access in a place like we have, where literally your kids, your 8-year-old, your 10-year-old, your 16-year-old can come down and be exposed to the best Olympic coaches that are there in these sports, to Olympic hopefuls and athletes that are training here.
I'm very proud that Oklahoma City and the community has sort of embraced the Olympic concept, the Olympic values. Young people working hard for a dream, playing fair, doing it the right way. To me, that's the value of the Olympics.
It's been a wonderful partnership between philanthropy, city leaders, and business leaders, all vowing to do the best we can do. And as it turns out, the best we could do is the best in the world.
We have a really special situation here that I think is quite unique in the world, that we have what I consider the best cooperation from the public sector and great leadership in the public sector. We have great leadership and great cooperation in the private sector. The universities are all teaming up, family foundations, a lot of nonprofits here in the community understand that we need to grow from within.
Oklahoma City is indeed a startup. We have the ability to dream big here, and what's cool is we have people who work together, be it from public or private enterprise, and we all share and we live this vision, and then we all go, okay, let's do it. There are no reasons why we can't. We figure out, okay, we can do this.
This is the finest venue in the world for the sports of canoe, kayak, and rowing. And we've got a lot more to come. And I don't know what city is second, but I wouldn't want to be them.
You know, no, it's a fun to be a part of Oklahoma City right now. The transformation that's going on is exceptional, and it's just fun to be a part of it.